Mama said there'll be days just like this. Come on. One thing we all adore, something worth dying for. There's nothing but pain. We stuck in this game, searching for fortune and fame. Yes, stretch that part out real tight, baby. The name is Law Nation. Come on.
What more do you want from me?
Yup. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a negative party, baby? Come on.
Ready? Running from it. Destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say,
I am. 5, 4. Come on. Ain't no party like a Law Nation party. But what about a cowboy party mixed in with a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that? Let's get it. Original. They never will be.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not wrong.
Uh-huh. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. Let's get it. All right. Watch how this one jump in, baby. Watch how this one jump in. Come on. All right. Appreciate you. Give me a 1 in the chat if the audio's straight. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I really do appreciate each and every last one of you all. I've been doing my observation analysis of the fan base, and most of you guys are angry. Most of you guys are upset. Most of you guys are feeling like we are the only team. We are the only team that lose every year. There are 31 other teams that played this season that we were by far the worst team in the National Football League. And I get it. I understand. We all get angry. We all get upset. We all bumped our knee at the edge of somebody's sofa table or somebody's couch, and we said, God damn, you know what I'm saying? We all get upset. We all get angry. But to sit there and waddle in it and just say, hey, this is going to be forever. Forever, ever. Ever, ever. Come on, man. It doesn't matter, man. I get it. I understand. But Cowboy Nation, y'all got to cheer up, man. You know, God, dog. The reason why I look still young is because I know help is on the way. Help is on the way. Hey, hey, hey. Some of y'all early 20s be looking like y'all 40 and 50 years old because y'all worrying about so many things that you don't have the control of. Some of y'all are still at the same spot that you are in life because you so waddling around in the negativity. Your teeth fall out. Your eyes begin to get blurry. You can't even see anymore because you're all in the negative space. Come on, man. I get it. It's the off season. It is the off season. And yes, they bringing back Tyron Smith. Yeah, he gonna be back here another year, man. Yes, indeed. Riggs! I can't take this no more, Riggs. He's trash, Law. Oh, my goodness, they bringing him back. Oh, my goodness. Can they bring Biggie and Tupac back, too, Law? Come on, man. We them boys, man. I still ride with them boys. But he neither here nor there. Cowboy Nation just beating up on some of you all. But at the end of the day, there was some news just released that Jimmy Johnson was able to talk to a certain station and said, you know, whether it was jokingly, there's truth in every joke. Can somebody out debate me on that? I'm ready for them. There's truth in every joke, right? There's a little truth in every joke. But here's the thing. On the opposite side of it it's good to know that Jimmy is giving some type of words to Jerry Jones, who Jerry didn't really lean on before. A little advice can help you out along the way. A little advice can improve on a certain thing that you do in life. A little advice can get you further down the road. Hey, when you go down that street right there, instead of taking a left, you're going to have to take a right. The stand of the sign, that stand right there is going to say go left, but no, you just take a right there. Trust me on that, right? And it can take you further in life than anything. It's also understanding where you get your information from, right? Where you get your information from and your knowledge and wisdom is from. And wise men seek counsel, you know. Seeking counsel, there's nothing wrong with that. And Jimmy Johnson being able to give that now opened up so many opportunities. But so many people would say, man, those are lies, Lord. Jimmy, why you gonna do Jimmy like that, man? Jimmy just lied to us, man. Who out here is old enough to remember that Bill Belichick in the late 90s reached out to Jimmy and he gave him advisory on how to handle players, how to handle superstars, how to handle success, and how to manage your team. Advice. Now, granted, some people will fight and argue and say, well, you know, that advice, Bill Belichick would have been the same without him. Riggs, man. Yes, they were. The doggone Patriots would be the Patriots regardless without his advice. No, you got to take these advice, man. And Jerry Jones for the last 30 years or close to 30 years haven't been taking Jimmy Johnson advice. So now that we got that advice here, it should help out. We're not light years away from doing something remarkable in the playoffs. We're not light years away. Granted, we did get beat down bad. We did. We got beat down bad. But keep in mind, the 49ers, if Green Bay Packers, and I know if was the fifth, we all be drunk. If Green Bay Packers just make the kick, it would have been a whole different tune there. They would have beat the 49ers. Football is a game of chances, baby. And yes, it will all work its way out. Law, who you taking? Prime Bill. I don't know who you talking about, C-Lows. I don't know the context of it. But the whole thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is let's not be so negative that we forget the positive things. And there's nothing wrong with being objective with your approach too, and listening to what things can happen for you for the good. Case in point, the whole talk track of Bart Scott. Two things can be true. Some of the things that Bart Scott said could be usable for this franchise or organization as well as for Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons could use some of the lessons that he is saying. And on top of that, should he take everything that he say? No. But some of the things he can say that he can take from. But before I go into these type of situations, let's listen to this audio, and you guys can play along whether or not, it was jokingly said from my guy Jimmy Johnson. And you can go ahead.
Well, since the Ring of Honor, Jerry and I, man, I'm on his advisory board now. We're talking on the phone. I talked to him about an hour after his Green Bay loss, and, he's talking about what all he needed to do because he's had big decisions on Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn and Dak Prescott. But everything's hunky dory now. So I'm back in the fold with the Cowboys.
Well, I thought.
So he said everything is hunky dory now. He's back into the folds with that. So what that means is at least you have an extra arsenal, artillery, a weapon that you can use and utilize. Now, the craziest part of it, it's up to Jerry whether or not he take his advice or not. It's up to Jerry. But at least he has that alleyway, that doorway open. It wasn't like that 5 years ago. It wasn't like that 10 years ago. Damn it, it wasn't like that 3 years ago. But it is like that now, that Jerry Jones can at least pick up the phone, and they are at least, for right now, is on that page where they can take advice. I remember, I'm old enough to remember, and Jerry Jones do move like that. When we say Jerry, we also adding to the sons in them. I remember Jerry picked up the phone, and since they still have that open relationship, he picked up the phone and called Barry Switzer and asked him about DeMarco Murray. Who remember that story? He asked him, he said, hey, what do you feel about this DeMarco Murray kid? And he said, man, you need to get him. He's really good. You need to figure out to get him because he's pretty good. And DeMarco Murray, for what he was used and utilized here, he did a serviceable job. Injuries got in the way with him. God, dog, if you take injuries off of DeMarco Murray, and shoot, he would probably be in the Hall of Fame and doing all type of crazy stuff. And if you put him in a better coaching scheme and system, shoot, you probably you would never know. DeMarco Murray, baby. So now that you got counsel, now that you got someone that you can reach out and touch and get information from, this can help you out completely. This is from CeeLo. Now he made sure I got this attention right here. CeeLo said, "Wait a minute, Law. Let me cash app you, man. Let me super chat you, bro." He says, "Law, who are you rolling with? Prime Bill Belichick or prime Jimmy Johnson?" I'm taking Jimmy J all day. Yeah, shoot. I think that Bill Belichick is more of a disciplinary. Yes, he's that. He's a nonsense guy. But with Jimmy, you get that plus a philosopher, a forward thinker, someone that can use the media from another way, because Bill Parcells do the same thing collectively, use the media for motivating his team. But Jimmy is a psychiatrist. I think he got one of those degrees. He would psychologically get up under your skin, and he give you the toughness. So give me both of those coaches good, by the way. The last time we had one of those coaches here was Bill Parcells, and I'm still in the shadows with Mike McCarthy. But Mike McCarthy is a whole lot better than what we had previously. But I don't think even Mike McCarthy is on a Bill Parcells level, right? Coaches do matter, Coaches do matter. Sidney Jones, thank you so much for your super chat. Appreciate you so much for your support. He says, too much likership in Dallas and not enough leadership. Let's change the culture. Boom. Great observation, great analysis there, too. Let me give you a round of applause. I do like the fact that you use likership. But what separate those two things would be stern coaching, disciplinary, right? Someone that can hold someone accountable, the accountability aspect of it. So Mike Zim, that's what he brings to the table. And if you guys been around here long enough, you would see the small things. It's the little things you do, you know what I'm saying, that he is doing behind the scenes, that what Mike Zim does is he coaches the coaches. I heard that Greg Ellis, he was saying the same thing, that Bill Parcells was the type of coach that coaches the coaches, right? We all know that even from Jimmy Johnson's perspective, he was a no-nonsense guy, right? So he was also making sure that he empowered the coaches, that he also held the players accountable. Boy, what we need is accountability, right? So we're getting that now, or we should receive that now. But just by going into a situation, whereas now you're bringing in someone to hold these boys accountable, not everybody's going to reach out and touch the coach in this particular fashion. Not everybody want stern discipline. Not everybody want to be called out for their accountability. No, not everybody. It is a rough terrain. But everybody loves the parents that give the kids ice cream at 11 o'clock at night, right? That can say they can stay up an hour, 2 hours after their bedtime. They like those things, right? But neither here nor there. Let's dive into some of this audio, and I appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in. And this is about the Michael Parsons thing. Shout out to my guy Andre. He always, they even gave him a shout out on radio for his recaptures of reclips. And we're going to listen to this. And I went over this earlier, but let's go over it again. Measure twice, cut once.
Get off of social media, quit tweeting, quit talking about responding, and go about your business, man. That's how you change the culture. That's why Emmitt Smith came out and had something to say. That was directly to you, bro. So instead of responding to what Lauren said, respond to what Emmitt Smith said, and maybe sit down with guys that know what winning is about in this league.
Woo! Now, that was Bart Scott. I know some of the people will listen to this and say, hey, man, he was telling the truth, Law. And some people will just look at Bart Scott from his time at ESPN or whatever network he's on or what have you, and they will say, hey, man, that dude's a fool. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. And this is one of the times he's right. Now, two things can be true. I do like the fact when Parsons is talking on the podcast off season, I have no qualms against that. I have no worries. I have no issues of this brother talking during the off season. It's during the season for me that I got to get used to it. And I told y'all, I'm transparent with that. I don't like players talking. Let us do all the talking during the season. Because I don't want to give these people extra ammunition for the opposing team, the ops. I don't want that. But by him talking during the offseason now, we get valuable information, more and more knowledge, more and more understanding of where he's coming from. And I will accept that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, granted, when Bart Scott talked about, Michael Parsons need to go to leadership school, one of the greatest players we ever seen in our lifetime, Michael Jordan. Did he win championship year one? Was he considered a leader? Nope. Year two, was he considered a leader, a champion? Nope. Year three? Nope. Year four? Nope. Was he a champion year five? No. That's one of the greatest that ever played a sport. MJ. Did he win something year six? No. But people saw greatness in him. And he had to get that all tapped in a line. It took that brother 7 seasons. Now, granted, we ain't finna sit back and say, okay, we're going to wait for Michael Parsons' 7th season to get things together. But everybody, you got to understand that everybody's different. Press says Parsons about to talk his way out of Dallas. I feel you on that. But if the Cowboys would be a fool, if they can't see talent that's generational and put things around it. I heard somebody say that even Ray Lewis didn't win anything his first year, his second year, his third. But the expectations here in Dallas land is for these players to win every single year. Every single year. It's up to them to win every year. No one is giving that grace and mercy here. We are treating Michael Parsons as if though he's already in his 7th year. As if he's already in his 8th year. And I have a gang of people to fight me about it. No, man, he's supposed to be that veteran. Who's teaching Parsons? D-Law? What have he's accomplished? No offense to you, D-Law. I know you follow my stuff, man. Malik Hooker, he's going to be your voice of reasons. Shout out to Malik Hooker, man. Hey, appreciate you, man, for all that you do. And since he's back, I think he'll be back next season. We got some projects that we'll be working on, right? And congratulations on jumping the broom. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, who's the leader? Who was the leader? Where are you going to absorb all of that leadership stuff from? J-Ron Curse, he's your vocal leader? J-Rock. Riggs, I'm drowning over here. I'm getting too old for this. The funniest part about Lethal Weapon, baby, Riggs started out way younger than Danny Glover. But by the time Lethal Weapon, the last one, they both were the same age. Danny Glover stayed the same age, but Riggs aged all the way up enough for them to be the same age by the end of that movie. Let me a true story right here to the man. Danny Glover, he still had the same hairpiece and the edges, you know. Riggs started off with the mullet, ended up with the gray hair with him, you know. Let me know if I'm lying. Riggs! And the same horn stayed the same. The sax stayed the same. Oh my gosh. Ryan Clark is leaving ESPN. Interview him quickly, Law. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to Ryan Clark and them, you know. Come on, Ryan. Let's get on this podcast. The pivot. They probably asked him, hey, if you're going to continue to do this pivot, you working against us, bro. We going to need some of that stuff over here. And he refused. Yeah. But back to this wonderful excerpt, man. Let's listen to it. Some more.
Bart Scott. I'll give him an applause. Ooh. We don't do that very often when it comes to Bart Scott here on this show.
Dude, he's right, though, because I remember... You remember Micah at the end of the year when he was giving that interview after the game, and he says, for all you non-believers, disrespect us, talk crap about the defense. We're the 3rd best defense in the league. All we hear about is that's that was Bart Scott doing that with the Jets, being super sensitive right after a game before he yelled, can't wait.
Man, that Jets defense was nasty, though, man. I can't stand Bart Scott, but, man, that Jets... Who remember who was all on that Jets defense, though? And they wasn't given the respect that they deserve, and of course, you know. But people are acting like we had that type of defense over here last season. Come on, man. He's right, but, man, come on, man. We didn't have that kind of caliber of defense. And that's why a lot of people were like, hey, man, bring Rex Ryan over here. He knows what to do with this particular team, man. They had some straight dogs, man. Y'all name some names that they had on that defense. Woo! Y'all know I love some defense, man. That defense was just stingy nasty. Tom Brady was running for his life. Tom Brady, he had to go back to the Bohemian Grove, Brady. You know, like the next season. Let me go to Bohemian Grove. Let me go talk to these skull and bones people, man. Let me go talk to the Illuminati folks, man, because I need some help over here. Hey, his boo thing had to go do another ritual for him to get back ready, man. Because, come on, that defense was real, man. Come on, that defense was real, man. Hey, Cromartie, Reeves, and a bunch of big names, man. They had some dogs over there. But neither here nor there. Let's listen to the rest of this.
I agree. Mike has some sensitivity, but that is not the guy to deliver the message, in my opinion.
See, I hate that. I don't care for that.
Why? Why don't you care for
You
that?
you don't have to be. Kellen Moore does not have to be a good quarterback to be a good offensive coordinator. You're taking the same approach that he has to be. He has to have never been sensitive in order to call somebody sensitivity.
No. But it would be the same as if I was like, Chop, you've got a real problem being a troll on the air, and you need to stop. Like I personally look. I just say that as somebody who is very level in their approach, I think that you've really got to pull this back. I think it's affecting your personal relationships.
If I'm a raging alcoholic, and I tell my kids not to drink, that's not hypocritical. That's parenting.
Okay, there's a difference. That is learn from my mistakes. Bart Scott is not saying I was a sensitive P one time too. That's not what he's saying.
Hey, we all been there, man, especially in this culture, man. Hey, do as I say. Don't do as I do. And as they continue to sip, we already know. And then on top of that, I got mine. You need to figure out how do you get yours. That was one of the harshest things you can ever say to somebody that's young. Law, we got to start cutting this negative garbo out of our own radio hate on our team more than actual haters of everyone else going to hate. I get it. What it's a thin line. It's a real thin line between objective analysis than the doom and gloom analysis, right? The doom and gloom analysis is we would never win. We would never win if X, Y, and Z is here, right? Objective analysis will be, hey, this guy have his flaws. However, if you add this to it, like we get it. We can't control the Jones family on how they operate in the free agency. We can talk about how they operate in the draft because normally they hit on their draft picks, objectively speaking. But in the last 2 seasons, they've been kind of slow. And, hey, wait a minute, what's going on in the draft? Y'all looking a little too cute. But in the offseason, it's much more than just draft. There's free agency that you got to bounce around in. And there's acquisitions as it relates to trades. You got to be able to have all 3 of those things. And one can argue 4 with the current evaluations that's now on your team. You got to deal with that. So I think that the Jones family, they are very horrible as it relates to how they handle and negotiate contracts. Very horrible in that. And they move really good in free agency, but there's a Megan Thee Stallion but to it. The but part of it is that they don't move quickly. And then when they start to move, everything is done. Everything is gone. It scrapes. It's nothing but trash at the end of it. That's where the Cowboys are having their issues with. But collectively, the guys that they do will and deal and get into free agency, we can all argue and say, hey, man, they do a pretty decent job. But it's just a little too slow. It's not shaking fast enough for us, right? So those are the butts that's in it. There's a lot of butts in it, So I think that the Jones family really need to. Wait a minute, Dave said, wait a minute, but her butt moved fast and slow. Boy, I took y'all mind to a whole nother level, boy. Yeah, but it's weeble wobbling the wrong way at times. But neither here nor there. Somebody going to look up Megan Thee Stallion like, who is Megan Thee Stallion? Why is Lawrence talking about Megan?
And he's saying,
that's the SEO trick. You know what I'm saying? Come on, we SEO in the thing. We trying to get that algorithm to come over this way. That's what I did. I just got an extra 1,000 views just by mentioning Stallion.
Supposed to be a tough guy position like me, and he's not. That's where it's hypocritical.
I don't know, man. That was one of the all-time great lines ever. That interview with Sal Pal, that post-game interview.
Yeah, and that was before they were about to play what game?
That was a playoff game.
They were headed to the AFC title game.
Okay, so
they just won it.
That context is important, too. It's kind of like...
It was on the field after they beat the Patriots.
Yeah,
but it's rabbit ears. It clearly shows he had rabbit ears. Everybody's talking crap about our defense.
Well, speaking of leaders, normally that's Tank Lawrence on the Cowboys defense. And Micah, this was a lot of stuff from the Stephen A. Smith podcast when he sat down with him Smith podcast when he sat down with him, I believe, in Vegas, and he was asked about Tank. This is Jason Kidd's Tank Lawrence moment. Nobody's dying. Tank Lawrence said the Cowboys, they were just burnt out. Micah, what do you think about that?
That's not a good enough reason or excuse to say that publicly. If you said it to someone else, you know what I'm saying, like one-on-one, you know what I'm saying, cameras off, sure, be my guest. But when I feel like once that regular season ends and they get in a playoff, you're supposed to get rejuvenated. Like, this is a whole new me, whole new you. Like, we need to get ready. And that's part of that culture stuff where I was talking about, where I want to dive into the players that we got to change. Like, you should never go into a game like I'm tired, like I'm ready to go home, because that's exactly what's going to happen, and it did happen.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Come on, sing with me. God, dog, boy. All my God had to do is when Stephen A. Smith said what he said, Parsons, he could have just said, hey, that's my dog, D-Law, and I spoke to him about it, and we gonna work things out. I get it. It looked real bad, but I already talked to my dog about it. He was standing alone on that, and he got caught in a weird spot, and he just said anything to get on out of that spot there. But we gonna take care of it. Parsons, if he had a time machine, and if he can go back into the time machine, I guarantee you he would say something like that. You know what I mean? But, hey, when you said that way, people going to poke holes at it and say, hey, now Parsons got beef, man, with D-Law, man. Oh, my God, man. Oh, man, black on black crime, man. Oh, my God, when we shall overcome. Well, one of these days we going to overcome, man. But it's going to be perceived that way, and people going to poke holes at it. I've seen enough people talked about, not Parsons, but Tank. Oh, man, he's trash, man. He's terrible. No, man. No, man. Tank is one of those tanks that's on this team. For many of years, we were saying that even with him, the Cowboys need to figure out a way to add somebody else on that defensive front so it can free up Tank. And now Tank is getting a little longer in the tooth. He's a long tooth at this point now in his career. That we still don't have that big nasty down inside. Shout out to my guy, Jonathan Hankins. And shout out to Osa. But, man, I promise y'all that Tank Lawrence is by far one of your better edges on stopping the run in the National Football League. Come on, man. Let me rewind just a little bit so y'all can.
Where I was talking about, where I want to dive into the players that we got to change. Like, you should never go into a game like I'm tired, like I'm ready to go home, because that's exactly what's going to happen, and it did happen. I'm coming to the game every week like, man, I got 4 more weeks left. I don't know what y'all got, but I got 4 more weeks left. Like, that's part of the culture and identity that I just feel like we're missing. Like, that I would like, that's just something like I don't agree with at all. Like, regular season, all right, yeah, I'm tired, like I'm wore out. But as soon as playoffs hit, knowing how limited and how hard it is to win in playoff game, I would never say I'm tired or I feel fatigued, because that's my job to not feel that way.
Who saw the tape? Who saw the Green Bay Packers tape? Who saw the tape on defense? Show of hands, give me 9-0 in the chat if you saw the tape. Give me 90. And when you look at that tape and you see number 90 out there in that Green Bay Packers game, let me know if, and I know it's a collective tape. It's a collective game. But 90 didn't do bad in that game, collectively speaking. They ran away from him. Who saw the tape? Just show me numbers in the tape by putting 9-0 in the chat. If you saw the tape, and let me know if 90 looked bad in that game. Let me know if he looked tired in that game. You know what I'm saying? I need to know. I want to know. I need to know. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Thank you. You know, come on, man. We gonna overcome one of these days. Come on. 90 didn't look like he was tired, but collectively, 90 did a terrible job on going on First Take, Second Take, or whatever show he was on, ESPN and them, and giving those boys ammunition and said, we collectively were tired. You know, he did that. That was the ultimate mistake that he made. He should have just said, hey, man, you know, Green Bay, you know, they whooped our ass, man. I think we would have took that easily and said, yeah, we agree. Yeah. Everybody would have said, yeah,
He ain't lying.
you know, if he would have just said something like that, you know. And Tank did his job. And on top of that, he did make a mistake. I think he was offside or went offsides and stuff like that. But outside of that, shoot, he did pretty solid. The number one problem with D-Law is that it's hard for that brother to get to the quarterback to get the sack. Everything else, when you talking about setting the edge, boom, you got that. If you're talking about coming down and fill, he got that. If you're talking about disengaging and getting to the edge to make the tackle, he got that. But if you're talking about spinning around, disengaging, getting to the quarterback to make the sack, he just ain't doing that, dog. He ain't doing that. Let me pull up his PFF stuff. And pull up his PFF stuff right quick. And let me see, Lawrence. Here we go. DeMarcus. Okay, here we go. I put his name in backwards. All right, come on. Here we go. 13 and then 36, 1 forced fumble. Look, I get it. 4 sacks, that's not what you like. And I know a lot of people don't love these grades that they use and utilize with the run defense and beyond. I get all of that. But the dude had 92.4, even if you don't like the grades there, I say. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. But he had 48 pressures, 5 hits, 39 solos, or 39 hurries, I meant to say, and 4 sacks and 30 stops. Those are tangible things that you can go back and look at. But objectively speaking, I know people don't use grades from PFF. But he getting a high grade for a reason. And I know you guys can look at it and say, man, we don't use PFF. We use our natural eyes. But even when you open your eyes up and see, DeMarcus Lawrence against the run is a real solid dude. Real solid dude. But the linebacker that's on his side, that's supposed to come down and do those things, shh. If I'm setting the edge, and if my linebacker is there, and if I'm taking on the double team, my linebacker is supposed to be able to eat off of that, ladies and gentlemen. But what I foresee in the future is Overshawn being on that side, being able to just feed off of that when healthy, or if he can come out there and be healthy. Oh my goodness. Put 14 in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man. What's 14 for? Whatever that is. Put 1-4 in the chat, man. Appreciate you, man. All right. Appreciate y'all, man. All right. Let's get to the rest of this clip right here.
Wow. Wow.
All right.
That was kind of
Pointed.
Yes. Directly opposite of Tank.
That and I don't want to misquote it. Peyton, like right in the middle of that, he says something about DeMarcus Lawrence, or when he's talking about, that's what I'm talking about when I say the guys we've got to change. Is he saying that like
This is the culture I'm talking about. This is the issues that I'm talking about. Can you stop tapping your pen?
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
I'm tapping my Burt's Bees.
You getting really worked up?
Burt's Bees.
You getting really worked up? You getting excited for that hot take that you just had?
I'm
Bobby Bell
very
reporting Micah versus Tank tension.
Tension.
Andre on social media, go ahead and clip that and have that out there.
Oh yeah, that.
Shout out to my guy Andre. This is Andre's clip that he absolutely clipped it in, then he put it out there. Shout out to Andre, man. Shout out to him, man. He does a great job for the Cowboys community, man, and he's a Hook'em fan, a Texas Longhorn fan. So, and shout out to him, man. This dude, he give me all great information, man, throughout the year, and he's the defender too. He defend that star all the way, and he get mad sometimes, just like we all do. We get mad. He get mad just like we all get mad, man, and he point out some good stuff, man, on his page, and just for that, he says Dak hate hive once this happened, and he's talking about this news that just hit right before I went live, and it's from Dove, and a lot of people don't like Dove because Dove do throw out some sensationalism stuff too, but Dove is another guy that's gonna always poke the bear and do crazy stuff. He says Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott might command a contract worth up $60 million per year, according to my dog Shorts report. Now, Shorts is another guy, not Dalton, but Shorts is another guy that brings a lot of great information. Just spoke to Eagles All-Pro pass rusher Hassan Reddick, who tells me that they never requested a trade. That was a couple of days ago. He pinned that to the top. All right, let me go. I don't see the original report, but I'm quite sure that if it's Schultz is right on the money with a lot of stuff, man. And he is a good insider, man, to follow too. So be sure to check him out as well, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I spend the block on the Dak Prescott conversation, because this is where a lot of people want. A lot of people want to know, well, Law, what are we going to do with Dak Prescott? Can we move on from Dak Prescott? He's the reason why we haven't won in the last 30 years, by the way, Law. It's Dak Prescott's fault, and I get it, right? Well, the Cowboys, in order to make a few moves down the stretch for us, either we're going to have to stretch out and extend other contracts on this team, or we're going to have to throw Dak Prescott that ultimate bag, right? And we made it all the way to the end of his contract. So I would tell y'all, at the end of the day, if you extend Dak Prescott now, and if you work some numbers out, his salary cap hit on the actual cap numbers will go down drastically. But a lot of people are out on Dak Prescott because of the previous years, and rightfully so. It's been 8 seasons, and I get most people of being angry and upset and negative towards Dak Prescott because we ultimately haven't achieved the ultimate goal, right? But if you look back at it, I always tell people, who do you want? Do you want to take a spin and roll the dice on Cooper Rush? Do you want to take a spin and roll the dice on Trey Lance? Regardless of it, you got one last year with Dak Prescott now. You got this last season now. If the Cowboys say, you know what, we're just going to keep what we have with Dak Prescott and just roll the dice and keep this the exact same way and take the $60 million cap hit and roll with what we got. For whatever player we're going to rob, borrow, steal to see whether or not we can get this money over. Just keep in mind, if you do it that way, what you're ultimately saying is that you okay with a Jalen Tolbert. You okay with, who's our running back now? With a Deuce Vaughn. and whoever else you can find up under the couch. Because right now, Pollard is not under contract, nor Rico Dido is under contract. So Deuce Vaughn is your starting running back right now. That would be the extreme thinking, though. Law, yeah, like Sadiq said, Law, they don't know who or what they want. Right, Sadiq, coming off the top rope. Like, who do you want? So we over the cap. Bobby King says we over the cap now. Let me check out over the cap numbers real quick. Over the cap. And I've got somebody to hit me up, and they told me basically that these numbers are not actuals, right? Right, these numbers are not actuals because of X, Y, and Z factors in, and they don't have all of the report and these sorts of things. Let me see where we at. Ooh-wee. Boom. Man, so these are over the cap figures for right now. And I remember, dog, what I'm going to do is, and I appreciate you, Bobby King, for letting me know about the over cap thing. And it got me to this point right here. I'm old enough to remember that last season, right around this time, that there were a plethora of teams that's over the cap. And I was making the statement like, hey, what is really the quote-unquote penalty of being over the cap? Because there's going to be X, Y, and Z team that's over the cap, and we won't even hear news and noise about them, right? So we got the teams that's in the red right here. $21 million over the cap is where the Cowboys are at, allegedly. We got the Saints, $83 million over the cap. We got the Bills, 55, Dolphins, 51, Chargers, 35, Broncos, 24. So some of these teams got to release. They got to dump. They got to dump some of this money out. So I'm looking at the Saints, and I'm rubbing my hand like Birdman. Come on, Marshawn Lattimore. Hey, let's go. I'm looking at the Bills. Hey, Stephon Diggs. That would be a crazy thing. 2 Stephons on the same team. I don't even know too many Stephons. Man, they both spell their names different, right? Yeah. Stephon Diggs, come on over here. Bills, what we just talked about. Dolphins, Chargers. I can think of a plethora of guys. Even on the Broncos, come on, they got a DB over there. The Cowboys can move some stuff around. Come on with it. Saints finna work some magic like always. Yeah. So teams gonna have to finagle this. So what I'm gonna do here is I gotta dig up some research to let y'all know what teams were over the cap last season right around this time and what they finagled things around to get back where they supposed to be at under the cap. And look at the Commanders, look at the Patriots, look at the Bears, look at the Titans, look at the Bengals, right? They got all of this cap money, right? And we'll see what they're going to do with it. I'm old enough to remember my statement about this, and I was saying that the Cowboys, we won the cap war. Who remember that? We got all the way up to the top. We got all the way to the top up here. So you're going to have to finagle yourself to get around here in order to get things moving. But neither here nor there. The Dallas Cowboys, appreciate you for the stars there, Bobby King. Thank you so much for the 300 of them. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. So don't fret, Cowboy Nation. I get it. It is easier to say that this team is going to fall flat on his face. It's easier to say we ain't going to win anything. It is easier to be a negative fan, right? It is easier to fall into those graces, right? It's easier to take all your silver and blue off and just say, hey, man, I give up, man. I'm going to go watch golf or something, man. I'm going to watch hockey or what's out right now, basketball, right? I'm going to go somewhere else. It's easier to do that. The hardest part is when you say you're a die-hard fan, you're going to go die hard with it. You know, it's harder to be right here and still be optimistic, even in the midst of it all or in the mix of it all. Richard says, appreciate you. Thank you so much. He says, Jordan Love didn't outplay Dak without the run game and a good defense. We shall overcome. Terry says, no, it's not easy being a negative fan. Well, I'm just trying to stroke their egos, right? It's easier to say. It's easier to say those things, right? It's easier. It's easy. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, certain people will. I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. Nah. I ain't gonna go there. But not everybody. Nah. I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. That would take the show too wildly for most, man. Nah. I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I'm definitely not gonna do y'all like that. Let me run this right quick before we open up the phone lines. And I haven't talked to y'all in a minute, and it's 2:17. Let's enter this draft. Let's go. How many rounds I went? 4. I'm gonna go to 4-7, and I'm going to take whoever the first person on top or the first 3, depending on your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hit the play right here. Go ahead. Start the draft in 5, 4, 3, 2. Boom. Let's go with it. Ooh. We got Kool-Aid McKinstry. We got Jaden Daniels. Who want Jaden? You know what I'm saying? Not Smith, but Daniels. You know what I'm saying? All right, who want Kool-Aid? And then we got Troy Franklin. We got Ladd. We have a Graham. J.J. McCarthy! Mike McCarthy. All right, so I'm going with the cool, man. That's something that I Roll Tide, baby. Hey! Pull a string and I wink at you. I'm your puppet. Come on, man. Michigan back to back, man. I told y'all about them bloodlines. Come on with it, man. Come on, man. I know somebody's sitting there like,
Gosh, something wrong here.
I know some of y'all right now like, Law, man, you better get Javon, man. We got Javon Curse, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get rid of him, you know. His name J-Ron, not Javon, but hey. I see Michigan down there, bro. I'm going with Christopher, man. I'm going with Christopher Jenkins, man. Come on, man. Chris like, nah, you got to stroll down, man. Man. I'm going with Christopher. Hey, Jenkins and them. Come on, Jenkins. Y'all pissed off right now. Michigan, man. I can't stand Michigan players, man. All right. Blake! Oh my goodness, Law taking all the Michigan boys, man. What's going on? Have you learned your lessons? Come on, man. There's a blessing in every lesson, baby. All right, it says here, Sadiq, appreciate you so much for your support, your love and adulations for the nation. Appreciate you so much. Law, may God continue to bless you as well as your family, and may you continue to bring us nothing but the best. Come on with it. Come on.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had. I gave you everything I had.
Lay your head on my pillow.
Come on, rock with me.
And just
Relax. Come on with it, baby. Hey, appreciate you so much, Sadiq. And let the AI double time for your mind. Come on.
Sidika Charles $15. Law, may God continue to bless you as well as your family. And may you continue to bring us nothing but the best. Amen.
Nothing but the best. Yes, indeed. All right, let's go back to this mock draft. Ooh, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so we are in the, what round we in? Round 4. Do we have a 4th round draft pick? It must be a compensatory. Hey, Choctaw right now, like, God, I don't want to see. Choctaw don't even drive through Michigan. He like, man, look, man. Oh, my goodness, man. Choctaw, he may take a sabbatical on this team, you know what I'm saying, for a year. If we got all of those Michigan players, 2 back-to-back, there'll be 4 Michigan players, man, because last season we went back. I know it was a rough year for you, man, Choctaw, man. As a die-hard, I know you're a die-hard guy, you know, Ohio State. But, man, for all of these Michigan guys, I feel you, bro. All right, so we got Cole Bishop. We got Jordan. We got Will, I am, and Mason Smith, and then a Caleb King. Okay. We got Trey Benson and them. You know, I feel you, fam. Oh, you from Michigan? Wait a minute, Choctaw. I didn't know. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I never knew. You from Michigan, man. God, dog, boy. Oh, my goodness, man. All right. Y'all gonna have to help me out, man. I'm in the thick weeds over here, man. Trey Benson is the best back in the draft. Okay. All right. At 989. Okay. Just like Jeff Heath. Okay. I didn't know that, man. I ain't know that, bro. All right. 20 years. Okay. Benson is the easy pick. I'm going straight off of y'all picks now from here on out. I don't see him. Let me see if I can do a short way. This is short way right here. We go to running backs. Where RB? Boom. All right. We're going to go with Benson. Boom. All right. And they got Joe Milton the third. They got AJ. Okay. Who I should go with now? You know, Ryan Watts. We got Justin Bieber. Okay. Oh, my bad. Rogers. Okay. We have Jalen Green. Come on with it. AJ, who should we go with now? Caleb King is nice. Ooh, I'm in the thick of it, man. My depths of knowledge doesn't go all the way this deep for right now. Law, who did Jim Harbaugh hire? I don't know. All right, we just gonna go with the top picks, man. We'll get rid of this one. Boom, 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 boom. Dang, boy. Frank Gore. Boy, we got. I'm just going with the top guys. It's whoever at the top. This is what the Cowboys did last year, by the way. Whoever's at the top of that boy. All right. Dang. All right, so let's download this and let's see how much hate mail I get when we put it back on Twitter and all of this. And this was me just jokingly because I don't know if the Cowboys should go and draft 3 halfbacks, by the way. That's crazy. 3 of them? They said, man, one of these guys got to hit. Yeah, 7, 11. Come on, baby. One of these got to hit, baby. Yeah, they're going to need Keegan water over here, dog. Give me water. Oh, my goodness, man. They didn't went cornerback. They didn't. This was no draft plan. And watch, Cowboys going to do something like this. Not even going to touch a linebacker until, like, the last day they're going to touch the linebacker. We're like, hey, what happened to the linebackers and stuff, man? All right, man, that's me playing around. Hey, I passed, though. Did you pass? Yeah, I passed. Now get off of me, man. Get off of me. Get off of me, man. We passed. Did you pass that grade? Yeah, I passed with an A, man. What you get, you know? Come on with it, man. You know, here we go.
Dread it, run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say,
I am.
I am.
That's the coldest line, man. Name me another line that I can find and put it on this page, man. Oh my goodness, man. Name me another line, dog, you know. That was cold-blooded right there, bro. That was cold-blooded right there.
There is one other participant in the conference.
Yeah.
I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands.
Come on.
Took so many years, I'm just waiting for
I'm gonna make sure my audio is straight. Yeah. Mic check. Come on.
I do it again.
Fall lines. As we bring it up. Come on. Brought to you by Prize Picks.
I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Going back.
How I get this man up here? How you up here?
Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up.
Come on.
I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold hearted now.
Mic check.
I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up.
From D304. You're live. Come on.
What's going on, Lo? How you doing today, man?
Man, well, I can't complain, bro. Can't complain at all. Can you hear me good? Can you hear me good? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Live and correct. Hey,
Okay.
here we go. Check me out now. Look. You see the writing on the wall. It's coming. Now you listen to Jimmy. He's back in the fold.
Okay.
Now, what did Jimmy do? And it really propelled us in the 90s.
I mean, he was not just the coach. He was the guy that orchestrates stuff, man, put things in order, right? So he was able to set the culture.
Yep. He set the culture, but he also helped orchestrate that Herschel Walker trade, right?
He did.
All right. So what do we have? A $60 million quarterback coming up.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I hate to say it because I like Dak and I want him to win.
Right.
It's no coincidence that he goes on to Miami and say, well, we got these big decisions to make between McCarthy, Dak, and DC.
Right.
Whatever, you know,
Right.
So now we're at Dak's contract, and they're talking. And he's going to get $60 million. He's going to command $60 million.
Right.
Do you give him $60 million?
Now, do I give him, or do the market say that he's warranting $60 million?
Well, I understand what the market is saying.
Right.
But you also have to make your decision.
Right.
Do you give him $60 million?
Do I give him? Nah, man, not at this point right now, because at the end of the day, I'm giving him a little bit north of what Jalen Hurts got, and that's what 51, 52. So I'm going right. What did he get?
I think he got like 50. I want to say I thought I saw 53, but I might be
53.
wrong.
So
50 to 53 range.
So I'm going basically based off who was the last quarterback to get paid? Was it him? Was it Jalen Hurts?
Nah, it was. Who was it?
Was it Lamar?
It had to be Jalen Hurts. I think it was Jalen Hurts.
Whoever the last quarterback, I'm going by 5 or 6 million off north of that. I'm finna go a full. So if somebody got 53, I'm going like 57, 58. I'm not finna go like crazy like 64, 65. Nah. So Joe Burrow, somebody says 55. So either I'm going like a hair above that. I'm trying to match those type of contracts, man. I'm not trying to go in crazy like 60, 65. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
So you just said though you would go five above, right?
5 above, yeah. That's valid, right? Is that valid or Law Nation being disrespectful to Dak Prescott? Come on.
5 above. 5 above is good. But you said 55 and 5 above is 60. So
I was going off of the impression that it was 51. I didn't know it was 55. so if it's 55, then damn, it may be his market value may be 60. Then
man, look,
it may be 60 though.
I think Jimmy's gonna come in there and he's gonna help orchestrate that trade or something of that nature.
How can he do that when there's a no trade clause on there?
Well, the no trade clause only means that Dak has to agree to go to that team. So you ask Dak, where do you want to go?
Okay.
Do a sign and trade. It sounds out of left field. I get it, but I can see it happening because what do they value more than anything else? Their draft capital.
They do value that, but they will. Here's the other thing. What if Dak say, "Well, I want to be here. I love Dallas."
Well, they're gonna shortchange you as they normally do.
And then
you got to take less.
Now, granted, the whole argument of Dak Prescott taking less was based off of the principle that he never got the money in the first place, so you couldn't ask him to take less, right? So now he got his ultimate bag, right? He had $160 million guaranteed, so all of those guaranteed monies he's going to get it, right? So now if you come back to Dak and say, okay, all right, I get it, right? We asked you to take less last time, and that was being disrespectful to you. But now circumstances are a little bit strange. It's a little bit different. If you want to be here, can we do this number, right? Respectfully asking, right? And he might do that because think about it. What did Trey do? Trayvon Diggs.
Oh yeah, he took it.
He took the lesser approach. So I'm not going to take that option off the table because Trayvon Diggs just did it, right? And they can use that as leverage to say, hey, man, this is one of by far the best young DBs in the league, and he took a little less to stay here. Are you willing to do the same, right? So that could be still at play. I'm not saying I'm not speaking for Dak to take less, but that could be on the table, though.
I doubt that for the simple fact that we're talking about a corner, and you can. I can't say you can't find a corner somewhere, but we've been known to find corners, right? You need a quarterback.
Shoot, cornerbacks are hard to find too, though, bro. Shoot, they hard, man.
I can't deny that. But if you run the right scheme, you can kind of hide some of the deficiencies, right? A quarterback, it's going to come down to a certain point to where we need you to make this play. Simple as that.
So you said that. Now, who are you trading Dak Prescott for?
You're going to get draft picks.
A hope and a prayer. You're going to leave a known commodity for the unknown?
That's what you said about Tony Romo, too. Who we're going to get? All right. If you trust in your front office, you trust in your team.
That's the hindsight 2020, man. And they got Dak Prescott out of sheer luck. You don't do that now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, there's no way. Huh?
If you really believe in your front office as much as they do, they don't want to pay players, or they make you work to get paid, or they believe in developing their own and homegrown, this, that, and the third. You put that on your you pay them the big bucks. You put that on them to go get me another player. That's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. We don't sign free agents. We go and draft.
But
and we develop our
in order for them to do this, and I'm gonna use this as an example, it's just only an analogy so that people can understand. They had to at least hit it. You know what I'm saying? Before they got rid of it. So they didn't just jump the broom and marry it. You know, they just didn't marry Dak Prescott. They at least had to, play around with it, at least. And we don't have that here. We don't, look, people can argue and say, yeah, man, we know who we got out of Cooper Rush. Man, come on, man. You are not finna move on from Dak Prescott and say, okay, I'm finna go into the 2024 year on a lame duck season with Mike McCarthy and a guy that's just coming in out of nowhere who haven't coached in a full year, Mike Zim, and say, okay, this is your quarterback, Cooper Rush. But we got a lot of money. We got a lot of future draft picks, and we got to see what Trey Lance can do. They don't know what he can do yet. Come on, man. Look.
Said the same thing about Dak. You said the same thing about Dak.
But at least they got a chance to see what Dak could do. And Dak was like doing some crazy things. To this day, who had a better rookie season than Dak Prescott, by the way, from a quarterback perspective?
Oh.
CJ, you can probably say
maybe Cam Newton.
Maybe Cam. This is maybes. Dak Prescott, whoever we get, and you know how this goes, whoever we get as a rookie quarterback, they're going to start comparing him to Dak, and then they're going to be like, hey, man, at least Dak Prescott was doing this his rookie season, and he had Jason Garrett. So, hey, Lou, it's going to be a crazy situation, man. And even C.J. Stroud didn't go 13-3. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I agree. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I want him to stay, and I want him to sign a contract. But I just see him down the line. You're not bringing on Jimmy just.
What would you do? What would you do?
Me personally, I would ask that. I would do it. I would trade him, or because guess what? If you don't sign the contract, because you don't want to pay him $60, he's going to walk anyway.
I mean, you're gonna have to eat the money regardless, right? The $60 million. Dak still got the upper hand, and he can still say no. I don't want to get traded.
Yeah, and that's the case. If he doesn't, then you're going to let him walk because at that point in time, it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have to go to the unknown, bro. I appreciate you, man. I thank you so much. And the differences between the two of Dak Prescott versus Romo. Romo was going into a situation where he was hurt. The team was 4-12, right? And we was going off of the losing end of things. I believe we were 4-12 or something like that. We only won 4 games, and we brought Romo back, but then he get ultimately hurt again. So that's 2 times being hurt. So the Cowboys had no choice but to see who they had out of. I think that they originally went with Sanchez, and then Sanchez got hurt, and then they went with what's the smooth name? That's the coach now, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore got hurt, and then Showers got hurt. Showers hit the Showers. All of those guys got hurt, and then they put in Dak Prescott. So ultimately, for the Cowboys to make that work again the third time, man, come on, man. Even God is sitting back saying, like, look, man, come on, man. I can't keep giving you guys these type of favors, man. But I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. Good call from my guy, A. Lou. But at the end of the day, man, you just can't – nobody can really sit back and say that the Cowboys ultimately planned for Tony Romo to get here when he got here, right, as an undrafted guy who sat on the bench, and then all of a sudden they brought him up on the team, and they said, oh, wow, look at what he's able to do now. And nobody can sit back and say, yeah, the Cowboys ultimately planned for Dak Prescott to be Dak Prescott in 2016. Nah. I got the next caller from the 936. The 936, you in the mix.
Hey, what's up, Law?
No doubt, man. What's good with you, man? Talk to me.
Oh, yeah. All I want to say is this is what I feel like. Jerry and Steven, they make it seem like they play hardball, but at the end of the day, a lot of times they end up folding. So, like, when you put the layers back of that hardball, it's really rubber on it,
Yeah.
See, I feel like Dak Prescott has all the leverage in the world a couple scenarios. So say, okay, well, we already know he can't get traded. So say they keep Dak Prescott and they sign into an extension. So that's one way that he wins. Another way that he wins is if they don't pay him and they keep him here and he plays good enough next year, we won't have a good draft anyways. So who y'all gonna draft after he balls out and gets y'all to 12-5 again?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who are you going to be able to draft as a quarterback after he gets you to 12-5? Like, you're not gonna have a good pick.
Yeah, it's a conundrum. It's a conundrum. It's a flat out conundrum because at the end of the day, the contract is what's beating the Jones family right now. The contract is because of the no trade clause and the no franchise tag clause that's on that contract. Now, granted, you can easily say, yeah, what team would you like to go to? But people got to understand that team that he said he would like to go to would like to want him too. You know, they probably say, nah, dog, I'm good. We cool with what we got. We're not finna sink our teeth into Dak Prescott like that. No. So that's why it's always pivotal and proper to allow these players to see the open market. On the open market, what will you be able to get? And Dak Prescott, unfortunately, never seen the open market since 2016. He wasn't privy to that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if he did see the open market, a few teams would have picked him up. But I think if a team picks up Dak, he'll also win because whatever team that he goes to, they would have to be desperate, meaning that they came off of a bad year. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to get a good draft. So he might get him it's so crazy.
But you know how that goes though. You know how that goes though. Nobody wants you until someone else wants you. And then the Cowboys may look at it and say, well, hell, we don't want to lose on this situation. So they probably overemphasize and say, okay, we want 4 first-round draft picks. Or we want 2 first-round draft picks in a conditional what have you, third or what have you, and then teams are going to be like, you asking too much, man. You know, I thought that you was trying to sell them out, you know, so then they may ask for too much. So that's another part of the equation, you know. I think that Carson Wentz went for 2 first-round draft picks or something like that. And is Dak Prescott better than him? Yeah. I think Goff went for a 2 firsts or something like that. I don't know for what Goff really went for, but you guys get what I'm saying. So his value of being an MVP, second runner, candidate, or what have you, whatever markings that he was left at, that made his value do this. It may be trash over here from a Cowboys connotation because of the fan base may not value him like that. But other teams will say, shoot, we haven't seen a quarterback to this kind of caliber on our team, and we'll be willing to pay, but not overpay with 4 or 5 first-round draft picks. So that's just how that goes.
Do you feel like I don't know the details of Tyron Smith, but do you feel like we have any standing with his contract, or is he into full control? Because after the season that he had last year, could we maybe get something for him for a team that's missing a left tackle?
He's a free agent, I believe. So I think that contract then already did his course. So only thing that you can do from here is sign him back under a contract and put those stipulations on his contract again. I do like that play.
Oh, okay.
His contract was good at the end, so should give him another one of those. You know, if you play, you get paid. If you don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying? So I like that contract. Offer that again to him. People, for the life of me, think that Tyron Smith played terrible last year, and he didn't. And let me pull up his accolades right quick. And pull up his accolades right quick. I think that he did a serviceable job. It's just that when he got hurt, of course, whoever came in behind him, but I'm quite sure that a lot of teams would take only allowing 1 sack and 3 penalties for a full year out of 847 snaps, and then he only allowed 18 pressures. There's been a game that we had a guy on this team that in one game allowed 18 pressures. In one game. I'm not gonna Sully and denigrate him, but so
yeah, I know you.
yeah. So this man went a whole season and only allowed 18 pressures. So you get Tyron Smith back in, but what the Cowboys need to do is continue to draft at that spot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
One more point. This is my last point now, and it's kind of going into last year. I kind of knew where I would prefer us to draft it. Like I would think, okay, maybe get us a left tackle, maybe a running back, maybe a DT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it didn't work out too good. This year, I feel like we have a lot more need with limited resources. So what if you was a GM, where would you draft? Would you draft offense because we need running back, we need line help, and we also need receiver, in my opinion. But then you look at the defensive side, I feel like linebacker is the biggest need, but maybe another D tackle. But what would you draft it if you was GM, offense or defense?
If Law Nation the GM, I would literally look at this team, and I would draft BPA. I would go with best player available, and in the hearts of hearts, we know that Mozzie Smith, because I know for sure I had him right at the second round, 58-ish, right around that area. The damn Dallas Cowboys didn't draft BPA last year. They went with desire and needs. They went with that. There's no way, man, because everybody was like, whoo, when they draft Schoonmaker.
Receiver, man. Yeah, man, that was so crazy, man.
Yeah. So they should go with BPA. They shouldn't even go with what's on this team and what's not on this team. They should go with BPA, the best player available, and they should look at it from this aspect. Coach is supposed to help the transition out from there. The scout department and the front office and the GM, they supposed to look at, hey, I'm bringing you the BPA. This is the best available right now. I got a trough full of gold right here, and I got copper, and I got wood. Right now, I got the gold right here. This is what I want you to work with, right? And then when that gold, that's my analogy. When that gold is over with, then I got some wood and nickels over here. I got some copper and all of that stuff. This is what I got right next. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate you for calling in, fam. Thank you so much.
All right now.
Yes, indeed. So you guys give me what I'm saying is like, take up all the gold first, and then you can take around with your silver, your copper, your wood, or what have you. But what the Cowboys said that, hey, we can use this copper piece right now. Forget the gold and forget the silver. We can use this copper right now. Copper is a better conductor for blah, blah, blah. Nah, go get the gold. So that analogy ain't working, but it worked on somebody. I guarantee you. Shout out to you, Mike, man, from the 757. You're live on the Nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix. Talk to me.
What up, Law? What up, Law? How you doing, man?
Not much, man.
All right. So, man, allow me a second to back up a little bit, man, because I was so hurt from this damn playoff loss. I haven't even had a moment to motherfucking express myself on that shit.
Okay.
Bruh, I'm so sick of fans saying that we need to get rid of coaches, bro. Like, dog, at some point the players got to show up.
Right, true.
Dak Prescott cannot throw 2 interceptions, and he sure as hell cannot throw one that turns into a touchdown.
Facts.
All right, we've been seeing that story before.
Right.
We tried the Tony Pollard experiment out.
Right.
I'm so happy we franchise tagged him. Because that was the one franchise tag that I could say, boy, that's a good franchise tag. That's a big experiment. We had no idea what this guy was going to turn out to be, especially after that injury last season.
Now, let me push back on you right quick.
Hit me.
Now, they have the ability to rescind franchise tags. They have the ability. If the player haven't signed on, because he was waiting there a little time. But the moment, like who had a better deal out of the situation? The Eagles signing DeAndre Swift or trading for him? I forgot how they got him. I forgot, y'all remind me. but they only paid $5 million for him. They only paid $5 million for him. Now, I'm not saying that Tony Pollard is better than Swift or Swift is better than Tony Pollard, but we can all argue that, man. But for $5 extra million, I don't think that Tony Pollard played $5 more million worth of value than a DeAndre Swift. So what the Cowboys need to do is to work on that, and they need to stop playing around with the franchise tags. They need to do away with that, because you can't prorate that $10 million. You can't spread that $10 million out. So Tony Pollard, that $10 million, they should have said, you know what, we're going to let you see the market and test the market. And one thing I know for sure, the devaluation of running backs is a prevalent thing. And Tony Pollard asking price would have been very low by him coming off of an injury. Nobody would have paid that brother $10 to $15 million because he's coming off of an injury.
Here's my thing on that, though. You had the franchise tag him because last year he had such a big season with us that we was like, you know what? We got to cut Ezekiel Elliott because this guy looks like a number one running back. And I'm talking about all season everybody was saying that. It wasn't like,
but that injury man, that damage good, man. You know, shoot. That's the only reason.
I could see if he broke his hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be like, okay, all season get your hand together. That has nothing to do with your legs and your feet. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that injury was so bad he couldn't even stand up. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And last thing about that Green Bay game.
Right.
Everybody's so pissed off at Dan Quinn. Everybody that's played cornerback, safety, or linebacker, you tell me what play a defense calls besides man-to-man that could possibly, but we weren't playing man-to-man because Jordan Lewis.
Right.
Oh my God, Jordan Lewis was fighting with the O-lineman.
Yeah.
What play leaves the whole right side of the field wide open?
When
this is one zone coverage that leaves the entire right side of the field open. That has nothing to do with coaching. Everything to do.
When you don't do it often, then when you go into a playoff game, the confusion settled in. When you don't plan properly, you get piss poor performance. And that's what happened. Those who plan to fail. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't plan properly. And that's what happened. Now, granted, I think that the Dan Quinn already had his mind out of Green Bay, playing against Green Bay. I don't know what team. He was just making sure that he was focusing in on whatever interview that he wanted to. Because keep in mind,
that's so whack.
But keep it.
That's happening now.
Yeah. So that all of that should be happening now. So I just look at it from this aspect of it. And I know I'm long-winded with this, but I'm just saying that Dan Quinn himself checked out because he never planned that way in any game outside of the Bills game. We look just like the Bills playing.
Ooh, that was a bad game.
So that's why I say, man, coaching do like. Let me ask you this though. Do you think Jimmy Johnson would have planned the game like that?
No, but I also don't think that we would be like the least aggressive team with Jimmy Johnson playing. Like we were getting ran over. Like I'm so sick of Aaron Jones' little ass running off fucking defense over. Like you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's 5'2". Like fire 110 wet. Like why the fuck is he running these? Why are you running these guys over? And we mad at Dan Quinn? Don't they hit the weight room too? Like, come on, but you know what? Just like Jordan Love said when he sat down with Michael Parsons, and he looked at Micah, he said, "I think y'all had a DB playing linebacker, didn't you?"
They did.
That's our problem.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, fam.
Yes, sir.
That's Mike Sanders, man. A good call from. But I absolutely understand where some people will go at it and say, well, it's not the coach's fault. It's not the general manager fault. It's not the owner fault. It's Dak Prescott fault. I get that, you know, and it's Michael Parsons fault. I get that, right? Those are two polarizing names on the team, right? So let me ask y'all this. If you take Parsons off this team, since he was the problem, and put someone else there, do they still run like that on us? Right? Let's just take Parsons off the equation. Do they still run like that on us? Right? And let's say, for example, you take Dak Prescott off this team. Maybe we don't have those pick sixes, right? But do they still run like that on us? Right? Do we still have a running back problem? Do you take, let's say, for example, because this was another situation, the same people that buried us when we lost to the 49ers, I think it was the previous year. The previous year we lost to the 49ers, right? And they said if we had a better quarterback, then we would have won. Then how come Green Bay didn't beat the 49ers when they had Aaron Rodgers? You know what I'm saying? Like they had a better quarterback and they had a better running game, and they had, at that time, I believe, they had the number 3 or the number 4 defense in the National Football League, Packers, you know, the year the Packers played the 49ers. Like, how come they couldn't beat the 49ers? They had a better coach, they had a better quarterback, they had a better running back. How come they couldn't beat them, right? Or was it Aaron Rodgers' fault, right? I need to figure these things out, man. I'm just trying to figure it out. Can somebody give me an explanation of why Green Bay Packers, when they played the 49ers, that they couldn't beat them? And yeah, Aaron Jones ain't that small. But I feel what he's saying, though. All right, I got No Clone Tyrone from the 202. You're live on the Nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix. Talk to me.
What's going on, Law?
Hey, man, all is well, bro. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I feel like, man, the only thing that need to change is the scheme. Like, Dan Quinn's scheme didn't work for us last year. We was running the dime package, and we really didn't have no in-weight linebackers. Like, linebackers was the biggest need last year in that scheme.
Yeah.
And, you know, with Tony Pollard, I can't say Tony Pollard wasn't a good running back for us last year. But as far as, like, playoff football and us needing to run the ball and needing to stop the run, we didn't have the pieces. We only had CeeDee Lamb and, you know, Jalen Tolbert, Cooks. Cooks is the number, you know, I guess he was the number 2 for us last year. But besides those 2 receivers, there wasn't much production out of the receivers.
Right.
It's just like, you know, going back to that, you need those receivers to complement Lamb. And Lamb is, like I said, Lamb can't do it by himself. Prescott can't do it by himself. Like, every quarterback that won the Super Bowl had a collective weapons that they had. And everybody keep banging on the table. We can't do it with Prescott. We got to build around Prescott. It's the only way this is going to work. The only way this is going to work is we build around Prescott. Sign Prescott to whatever kind of contract you feel is comfortable, but sign him. He deserves whatever kind of contract he needs. You know, sign him to a contract that's going to open up the cap. That way you can bring in a Derrick Henry, you bring in a body wagon, and you can build around him. You know, we could have went out and got the Commanders just got the receivers. We could have went out and got what's the guy named? They used to play for the he played for the Raiders.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
They got the Commanders got Devontae Adams.
Yeah, man.
Sheesh. When did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
I've been hiding under the rock. Is it that?
I've just been looking, and you know, you've been scrolling. They snagged them up. It's one of the
they do got like $70-80 million. You know.
They got a lot of money, so they're gonna spend. But it's just like I said, the teams in our division is making moves.
Let me see,
They didn't make moves, too.
Devontae.
I'm not really paying attention to the teams that's making moves, like the ones that's making moves. It looks like they're gonna be stuck next year. That's gonna be a messed up thing next year with the Eagles because they got Kellen Moore over there, so we ain't really got to worry about them. But for the most part, I feel like we need that big splash, and that's the only way we're gonna do that is to stop toying with Prescott like he's some mediocre quarterback and just sign the man, get him the extension he deserves.
Yeah, man, I'm looking up, Devontae Adams, man. I don't see him going to Commanders, Maybe it's Dante. Or maybe it's Dante Adams or somebody like Devontae third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe Dante, not Devontae.
Okay. Woo. That could be something we can look at,
Yeah, man. Boy, you had me sweating like R. Kelly, man. You know what I'm saying? At all girls camp, man.
I was kind of scared when I thought I misread it,
Yeah. You misread that one, bro. I appreciate you for calling in, though, fam. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Yes, it did that Tyrone in there, man. Had me. Seem like you're ready, girl. Are you ready? All right, man. Boy, you had me, boy. Shoot, man. All right, man. I was sweating for a little bit, man. All right, I got 757, man. You're live on the Nation, man. Talk to me, man.
Hello?
Man, hey, where you at? You in the wind tunnel, man? Where you at?
In my car, man.
Man, roll the windows up, man. Talk to me, man.
I gotta roll up, man. Just my reception, something going through the country, man.
Man, were you in Mississippi, man?
No, I'm in Virginia, man.
Okay, man. All right, what's going on, man? Make it quick.
Hey, all right. Love your show, man. Just
Appreciate
want to ask you a couple questions. First, I mean, this is a statement. I think they're gonna extend that because they really can't build nothing. And
right.
Second, when they do extend them, I'm already calling it, when they do extend them, me personally, I don't care who you trade for, special wise or nothing. If you don't get the offense and defensive line straight, it don't even matter.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm asking you, when they extend that, what do you think they will start sign? Who do you think they will sign? And then my second question is, Marquise Bell, what are they going to do with him with all them safeties? Ooh. And I'm up there, man. Appreciate you, man.
Good call, man. Thank you, man. The first thing that I would do if you extend Dak Prescott, I would figure out who my center would be. Who touches the ball 100% of the time. I need to get that rectified, right? I need a good center. The second thing would be I need a good interior defensive guy, If Chris Jones, I heard that they finna franchise tag him or they finna figure out something to work with his contract with. So I'm looking at me a big boy down inside that I can pair up and match up with Osa to get this front four going. I already know Greg Ellis and whoever we have, as far as Paul and Jeff and all of those new guys, they're gonna get this defensive front going. Good for us. The next thing what I would be doing is going ahead and solidifying CD Lamb's contract. Go ahead and solidify that contract. Stop playing around with your food. Go ahead and work on those type of things. And on top of that, last but not least, man, get this run game together. I want to go into the draft with the mindset I'm not drafting no needs. I don't give a dog how many people crying and saying, we don't need this. We don't need that. I don't want to hear all of that. From the Cowboys fan, I don't want to hear we don't need, because I want us to go in the draft just drafting best player available. And all of that can happen, ladies and gentlemen, if they take care of business on the free agency side. See, the free agency side is where you do your needs at. That's where you do all of your needs stuff at, man. You bring in a veteran guy. You know what you're going to get out of that dude, right? You know what you're going to get out of a guy because he got his resume. Then you go in the draft. You go on drafting BPA. You drafting BPA, best player available. But, man, if you're going to go into this drafting with the mindset and the connotations of need, you got to understand that if you do it that way, you're going to have to go through some growing pains, and you're going to have to wait for that guy or that player to develop. You got to wait for Mozzie to mature and develop. Now, it's going to be an extra year because he got a different defensive line coach, different defensive philosophy. You got to push all of that back. You're going to have to wait for Luke Schoonmaker to develop. Those are early draft picks, man. Those are not late round draft picks. It hurts. In the words of Usher, it burns. You're going to have to let that burn. We got good with Tyler Smith. We got good with him. But they yo-yoed that brother. He was playing a tackle. Now he played inside. This past season, he played inside. Let me get some continuity going with him in his third season now. Look how fast that happened. He's already year 3. We don't know who Sam Williams is right about now. Boss man Fat, he's somewhere on a whole nother team. Those are our last 2 other draft picks that was drafted in the second round. And don't let me get to talking about Jalen Tolbert. Because we got an undrafted guy that's been turning more heads than he been. And his name is Kevontae Turpin. So when you draft, don't draft for needs. BPA. All right, so I got 4112. You're live on the Nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix. Talk to me.
Hey, Law.
What's good? Yeah, I can hear you, man. You sound great.
Hey, man, I just want to say you do great work, man. I've been listening for a while.
Appreciate it, man.
But, okay, I think we got, like, my order of problems here.
Go ahead.
Starts at the top with Jerry. The roster last year on defense, I mean, that's on him, you know, and Dan Quinn did his thing, postseason, all that. But, again, we've talked about it. We had no linebackers. Even going back to Leighton Vander Esch, I mean, he couldn't get off blocks. You know, it's been a problem. Right?
Yeah.
2, I have to be honest, it's Dak to me. And it's part of it's a talent thing to me. Part of it's, you know, I think he's gotten better, obviously, since getting drafted.
Right.
But I think it's, for me, it's a mentality thing. I mean, he does this thing when we need a play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we need to change the momentum.
Right.
He does this thing, and it's like, this is like some weird body language psychology, you know, because I'm an expert. But he like disassociates, and his mouth is open, and it's like right there, like watching the game. It's like, I know when he gets into that mode.
Right.
You know, we're just seeing whatever on TV, but when he gets in that mode, I know we're going to lose the game based off of his body language, how he's interacting with the teammates, like his confidence and his aura, you know, whereas like the great quarterbacks are like, rally the troops, let's go, and they got some fire. It's like I think we could win with his talent, but it's an aura and like overall like mentality that I think you kind of just got to be born with. And I don't know if he always possesses 100% confidence in himself to go out there and make play.
Now, in the last, 6 years, we only seen, 3 quarterbacks at most, right?
Yep.
And that's the old argument that Parsons brought up, and I think it's still a valid one. Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, and then we seen what my guy Matthew Stafford was able to do once he got to a team where he didn't have to just take all of the glory, right?
Yeah.
So with Dak Prescott, and you can say from your body language skill set that you are able to see, if you got $60 million on the table right now that you got to pay him regardless, the only thing that you can do at this point, since you have 8 years of total body of work with him doing those type of things, is to just take it away. Take it away. See, in 2016, he didn't have those type of worries because they had a guy with a cantankerous type of head named Ezekiel Elliott that would just plow down in there and give you those touchdowns, right? So what I'm saying is the Cowboys, what they need to do is find them a guy that can just take some of those blows from Dak Prescott, and that would be putting a run game around him so that you won't have to put all of your faith on the quarterback. And that's what I would do. If I'm looking at it, regardless, I got to pay this $60 million for this quarterback. I don't want to extend him for the future. Let me just see for this last season if I tinker around and get him another running back that I know that can take some of these worries away. That would be the only thing. That'll be the only
100%.
thing. Yeah. Just take it away from him.
And I think, okay, so 2 for me, it is Dak. And again, 1 is Jerry. So Dak can be successful to me if Jerry Jones gives him the tools, right? And that includes a balanced defense.
Right.
But 3 is just going to be head coach. I mean, McCarthy, but let's go down. We got Garrett. We got Wade Phillips. We haven't had anybody that sets the culture, right? And I'm from Pittsburgh, so it's like Mike Tomlin. We haven't had a Mike Tomlin. We don't have a Dan Campbell. We don't have Pete Carroll, keep going. It's like, I don't think in my lifetime we've ever had that coach. And, we say Parcells. Well, again, it's, Jerry, problem number 1, didn't give him time, the whole ego, all that. But it's, that I don't know. Our culture's messed up. And it's, I don't think until we get that completely fixed that I don't think it matters who's a quarterback or anything else. Like
it's just the learning pains that we're going to go through. I think that before I let you go, I think that the Cowboys would probably never pay a running back $100 million. And I think that the Cowboys would never franchise tag a quarterback twice and give them a max contract of $160 million guaranteed and take away the no trade clause and the franchise tags. So I think that those things, that's a lesson learned. Unfortunately, them boys in their 80s now. So Jerry Jones in his 80s and Stephen Jones, however, he look older than Jerry some days. So those boys, they won't make that mistake again. I guarantee you that. I promise you that. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for jumping in, bro.
Hey, thanks, Law.
No doubt, man. It's a good call from him. Yeah, you got to learn from your mistakes, man. And unfortunately, we like that. Because another general manager from another team that was general managing some stuff, they would have been fired for those type of things, So all I can say is the Cowboys, with Dak Prescott or without him, they got to pay $60 million, man. Hey, at the end of the day. So they going to have to make some type of an agreement. And to me, to a degree, I said this, and I know a lot of people hit me up and said, man, we still love Dak. And I said, there's 3 ways that people will love Dak. If he wins the Super Bowl, if he goes to another team, or he just retired. That would be the only 3 ways that he'll be beloved in Dallas. Because people don't like players in Dallas until they're gone, or unless they won a Super Bowl. That's just how it goes, collectively speaking. That's just how it goes, unfortunately, y'all. People love Sean Lee now, but Sean Lee was getting all type of hate mail, and he was horrible, and he was Snake Lee and all of this stuff. But now people, look, he's beloved here. People, like Henry said, hey, I miss Sean Lee. People love LVE. Now that he's not on this team, or he's talking about retirement, right? But they forgot about week 3. They forgot about week 3. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, we sure miss LVE. Yeah. But then I remind them week 3, they're like, damn, Lord, why you had to remind me? All right, I got the 646, and then we will have the 206. 646, you're live on the Nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix. Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, Law?
Hey man, all is well. I can't complain, bro. Talk to me.
Hey man, our fans are crazy, man.
Yeah.
They put too much on the quarterback.
Yep.
And explain this to me. This is the puzzle that got me. We had 2 tackles, right? All pro. 2 tackles, all pro on the offensive line. 2 guards, my fault. 2 guards, all pro?
Yeah. You talking about Tyler Smith and Zach Martin? Yeah.
Right, and then we had a second team all pro left tackle.
Yeah, I get you on that.
I'm trying to figure out how do you have all this talent on the offensive line and you can't run the ball?
That's
telling me you got 2 all pro, number 1 all pro guards, and you got a second team all pro left tackle, and you can't run the ball.
Well, here's my thing though with this. Robin is a damn good, nice, you know what I'm saying, superhero. But he's Robin, right? And then when he turned to Nightwing, he's still Nightwing. He ain't Batman, right? He ain't Superman. And when you try to put all of that on just him to do things, you're gonna see the micro, droppage of what he can and can't do. So yes, Robin still got the Superman. He still got the damn belt like Batman. He got the grappling hook. He got a cape and everything, but he ain't Batman, man. You know what I'm saying? So what we try to do is put him in a role that he's not able to do, and that's what Tony Pollard is. He's in a role that he didn't belong in.
But I know Tony Pollard ain't no first string running back, and
right?
Everybody should have known that. Like he's a 1-2 punch.
Right.
But what I'm saying is I've watched several games, man, where he didn't even get a chance to get started. The dude was in the backfield.
I mean, the scheme do hits too.
And that was the same thing going on when Zeke was here. A lot of times Zeke fell forward for two yards or hit a dude that fell forward for 2 yards. A lot of times the hole wasn't open. So I'm saying, is it the blocking scheme? Because for us to have these all pros on the line and we can't run the ball worth a damn, it's crazy.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts on this. And the Cowboys decided to make their bed with this. They went in ultimately with a new running back who never had those roles and duties before, a first-time running back coach out of the name of Jeff Blasco, and I'm not trying to beat the man up, and a Mike Solari, right, who was his first time coaching a different scheme for these type of offensive linemen. So they sound like bevies of excuses, but those are the things that's on their resume. Mike Solari never coached with this team, with this front five like that. He coming from a different philosophy. The last time he was here was in the late 80s, So I get that. And Jeff Blasco, you get with what you get. And that's what the Cowboys decided to do. Right. And that's why they were not able to push things around.
And one more question.
Go ahead.
Do you really think they're going to listen to anything Jimmy say? They don't listen to Troy. They don't listen to Emmett. They don't listen to Irving. So, like, are they going to listen to anything Jimmy say? Or are they just going to, this is just a PR stunt. We got Jimmy Johnson in the building.
Right.
The fans all hyped because the Cowboys is the ultimate hype machine. They'll add a guy like Martavis Bryant to the roster, and they'll have fans doing cartwheels like this dude is going to make an impact.
Well,
no, he ain't going to see the field.
Yeah, but hey, at the end of the day, man, even Satan listened to God. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it goes, man. Have you heard of Job? You know what I'm saying? So hey, he's just gonna have to listen, man. He might take a one advice, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling in, bro.
All right, bro.
No doubt. Yes, indeed. Everybody messed him up there, man. He said, "Wait a minute, now Satan did listen." Have you considered Job? You know what I'm saying? So let's see, and I'm not calling. Look, somebody gonna be like, "Hey, man, you calling?" So are you calling? Jerry Jones, Satan? You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm just saying though, man, you got to understand, y'all. I'm about to say you got to understand, law. You're talking to myself in third person. So the Dallas Cowboys would be crazy not to take advice, right? You'd be crazy not to take advice, and the Cowboys. At the end of the day, I do like my guys way back in the days, man. They used to do a video named the Hodge Twins, And at the end of their videos, they would say, "This is just my advice. You can do whatever the you want to do." You know what I'm saying? y'all look up the Hodge twins, man, and they were very, very exciting to watch, man, because they was bodybuilding channel. They tell you about, hey, what you can do with this set of food, how to work out here and this type of thing, and what you can do at the end of the day. You know, but then at the end of their videos, they would just say, "Hey, man, this is just our advice. You can do whatever the." Them jokers so crazy, man. The Hodge twins, man, and they Cowboy fans too, by the way. Shout out to the Hodge twins, man. I got my guy from the 206, man. You're live on the mix. It's MJ, man. Talk to me, man.
What up, Law? How you doing, brother?
Man, doing great, bro. Talk to me, man.
Hey, man, like what they doing so far. I'm not gonna you know me, Law.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't. It's all about the players and the coaches, and just like the one guy he tried to bring up. You know me, Law. I hate when they try to bring up the Jones. I don't want to hear this.
Hey, man, I already know how you feel, man.
I don't want to hear that. That's just an excuse, man. Everybody come on here, oh, the Joneses. And I told my friend the other day, I said, okay. So you want to be 5-11, 5-11, 5-11, 5. So what the owner and GM doing over there? What them fans over there doing? Shut up.
What most people, what MJ, what most people are saying, that collectively they do have their hands on the gun, though. You know, they do have their hand on the gun, though, bro. You know.
Law. I don't care about that. They get a guy like they gave Dan Quinn. I don't want to hear that. They gave Dan Quinn all that money. They took care of him better than they took care of the offensive coordinator. And he sabotaged our team. He sabotaged the team, y'all. And Law, and I was like, man, Law got something there. That dude was worried about getting a job. Because like I told you, some of you dumb Cowboy fans, he was not getting the job. The job was going to the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. The Detroit Lions offensive coordinator had the job. They didn't want to pay him what he wanted. So he said, nah, fuck y'all. And then Baltimore, and you tell right there, he came from Seattle. Why Seattle pick over him for the Baltimore job? See, you Cowboy fans don't be listening, man. Y'all want to say Jerry Jones' favorite person, just like it was Kellen Moore, it was Dan stinking Quinn.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn's stinking self got there, played all the small linebackers, caught all the linebackers, and I got to give it to your boy, Okoye. Okoye was showing film on the linebackers, y'all. Then he showed the film on the linebacker from Tennessee that had 159 tackles.
Rashawn
making
Evans.
plays.
Yeah.
And you tell me he couldn't have did that for the Cowboys? No. Dan Quinn wanted to play all 7 safeties and corners, and they getting their butt whooped. And the teams finally saw that because Buffalo did it to us. 49ers did it to us. Even Miami almost did it to us. Hey, and then Green Bay got that film. See, that's coaching, y'all. Let me say it again. That's coaching. They said, ooh, let's look at this. Ooh, look at that Buffalo film. Ooh, oh, man, we can run on these fools. They just trying to get past. And them fools all over the place. And they couldn't read defense. And everybody was playing individual football. That's why the Cowboys always lose, because you fools want to play certain players that's individual. They're not for team. They just want money. That's why we lose. And that's why Stephen Jones, and I don't blame Mr. Stephen Jones. Y'all might always call me Catboy too. I'm not paying your sorry ass $30 million, and you can't get me a sack. You can't get me a tackle. You 0 tackles, and you play the whole game. And then you fans come in here, Jerry Jones? No. He paid the players that y'all wanted. You know what I'm saying? Look, he paid the players that y'all wanted.
I appreciate you.
Bombs. So I'm glad we got Zimmer. Zimmer is organized. If you don't play his way, you sitting on the bench over there with him. and he don't care. And Mr. Jones ain't gonna save y'all because it's the last year anyway. So Mr. Jones said, man, do what you want to, Zimmer. I'm not gonna save them. So all the players got to come and make the team all over again. There's only one player on the defense that's really started. Two? Three? It's about four. Law is your boy 90, 11, 7, 26. Every other position is open for, to make the team who's going to be out there. And he wants smart guys that know how to run the scheme, that ain't going to be playing individual trying to help somebody. No, check your man. You know what I'm saying, Law? So we got a chance finally. Law, we finally got a chance to do something. And just drop that big center from Oregon. Bring your boy 77 back. Line there up. And let's this offense and get a halfback. And the halfback from Wisconsin, he 245, running 4.4. That's a big boy. If y'all want, go watch the film on the Wisconsin halfback.
Yeah. In closing, man, I appreciate you, man. I thank you so much.
In closing, to all the Cowboy haters, you might as well sign Dak Prescott back. If you don't, we're gonna be 5-11. And you might as well stop crying about Jerry Jones. It's his team. He can take a shit on the field and stop making excuses for these dumb players. They got to stop.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in. That's MJ, man. That's my guy, man. Shout out to him, man. Appreciate him, man.
Goodbye.
All of the other 8 people that was on hold, man, y'all had to call back, man. I just had to say this, man. You better figure out a way to utilize Parsons, man. I don't care how much he cried. That dude is generational talent, and you better figure out a way. And they got something good with him. But Parsons, like now, people got in the middle ways with him, and he is like the Dak Prescott of the defense now, right? It's Parsons' fault, right? But if the Cowboys can't figure out ways to win and put things around him, come on, man. Maybe that is coaching. I wonder who hires those coaches, man. Oops. Who hires the coaches, man? I don't know, man. I feel y'all, man. Cowboy Nation, man, it's a pleasure, man, talking to you guys. Once again, I just want to thank all of you guys for y'all support, y'all love and adulations for the nation. Really appreciate you guys. Even if you guys disagree with me, y'all still rock with me. Y'all still roll with me. It's the off season. I know the negativity is really high at this point, but at the end of the day, man, we still taking one day at a time, one movement at a time, and I really appreciate you guys. I hope that whatever happens, it happens for the good for the Cowboys. I do understand, and I do get that a lot of people are upset at the way we lost. But Parsons do have this great point. Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, and then you can throw in Matthew Stafford. In the last 5 years, those are the only 3 guys to lift up that Lombardi trophy. If there's somebody else that's out there, let me know. We'll put their name out there in the hat. But it ain't easy, man. You might can get Tom Brady out there. Maybe you can convince him to come back to play. But Tom Brady, he makes sure he pick a team with defense, man. In a run game. Shoot, I don't think he would have been able to help us out last year. And that's Tom Brady. You got to have defense. Defense win championships. I need somebody to do a research on the Super Bowls. Y'all do me a huge favor. On the Super Bowls that Tom Brady won, when were they not at least a top 10 defense? I need to know, man. Or top 5 defense. Y'all need to do that research for me. Look that up for me. I didn't even think to look that up. And where were they in the run game, too? I need to know that. Those 2 things right there. That's a good resume to look up or an example to look up. But neither here nor there. That guy, he retired. But Pat Mahomes, he's him right now, man. Shoot, back-to-back Super Bowl champs. You got to hold your hands up like this when you're talking about Pat. We'll see what he look like now without Travis Kelce. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, too. But neither here nor there, Cowboy Nation. We got to figure out things on our own. And if Jimmy Johnson is giving any advice to the Dallas Cowboys, he need to do what the Hodge twins do. The Hodge brothers, you know. You can take my advice, but you need. But at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want to do, you know, with it. That need to be the situation there. And he can make all kinds of gains. All kinds. But what's the gains of the knowledge and the information that we proceed today? If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it and fret for it and plan to lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty or famish or fame or the sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dark and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty, you will get it. Oh, I think I was wrong. Travis Kelce, he's not retiring. The other brother's retiring, right? I think Travis got, what, 1 more year, 2 more years before he retired. We'll find out what he gonna do with Taylor Swift and see if those knees and legs gonna be all tired for the 2024 season. We'll see what that's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to grind and shine. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.
Damn! Damn!
The Bambi legs, I feel you, baby. Come on. Come on. Let's get it. One love, baby. Roll those creds.
I just wanna run it up.
Let's.
Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, let up. Yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't get no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Now it's here. Kinda check the song.
What should I say?
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
I am.
Count that too, count. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play.
Charge it to the game. And remember,
I'm with T-Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now.
Come on.
Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me.
Hey.
I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer.
Call it too legit.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah.
Until next time, DC for life.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too.
Yeah, I'm paying for the damn better team.
Lately, I just wanna run
access and resources that we don't.
I just be off the dome. I never own no chrome. Too many foes and clones. I be at home alone. I be in zones alone. I be on road alone.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are no knowns and that there are no unknowns. But there's also I just want to know things we don't know that we don't know.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I have to take it to.
One love to y'all. Until next time, DC for life, not for short. Salute.
positive.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
This is where we hold them.
Lately, I just wanna run